how sleep debt after 60 ages your brain and how to fix it. Hello everyone, and welcome back to John the Living. You've heard it before. You need your rest. But what if I told you that missing sleep after 60 isn't just about feeling groggy the next day? It's actually aging your brain. According to neuroscientists, every hour of sleep lost stacks up, quietly eroding your memory, fogging your focus, and speeding up brain aging in ways most seniors never see coming. It's called sleep debt. And just like any debt, it comes with interest. But in this case, the interest is confusion, forgetfulness, and in some cases, even dementia. But here's the good news. The fix is real, it's gentle, and it works, without pills, expensive gadgets, or complicated routines. Today, I'll share the story of Edward, a 75-year-old who thought his mental fog was just part of getting older. But what he discovered about sleep changed his days and possibly saved his mind. Stick around, because this story might just help you reclaim yours. Edward was 75, a retired accountant from St. Louis, orderly, thoughtful, soft-spoken, the kind of man who balanced his checkbook to the penny even after retirement. He never used to worry about sleep. He went to bed late, watched a little TV, maybe scrolled on his tablet until he nodded off. It worked for years, until it didn't. It started with small things. He'd forget where he put his keys, lose his train of thought mid-sentence, feel foggy in the mornings, even after a full 8 hours in bed. He began snapping at his grandkids, something he never did before. His energy dipped, his confidence too. Still, Edward chalked it up to aging. This is just what happens after 70, he told himself. But during a routine checkup, his neurologist leaned in and asked him a question he hadn't expected. "How are you sleeping, Edward?" Not just how long, but how deeply. That one question was the start of a shift he never saw coming. Because the real issue wasn't just getting older, it was sleep debt, quietly accumulating over years of late nights and restless mornings. And once Edward learned what it was doing to his brain, he decided to change everything. Edward's neurologist didn't talk about pills. He talked about sleep. And not just any sleep, but deep, restorative sleep that the brain desperately needs, especially after 60. According to Dr. Matthew Walker, neuroscientist and author of Why We Sleep, sleep is the single most effective thing we can do to reset our brain and body health each day. When we don't sleep well, we don't just feel tired. We're actually preventing the brain's built-in cleaning system, called the glymphatic system, from doing its job. That system is responsible for washing away the toxic proteins that build up in the brain over time. One of those proteins? Beta amyloid, the same compound heavily linked to Alzheimer's disease. Without deep sleep, those toxins stay, and they pile up silently. In 2023, a study from the Harvard Sleep and Aging Research Program found that seniors with poor sleep habits had a 33% higher risk of developing dementia, even when they were otherwise healthy. That means late-night TV, scrolling through your phone, or waking up several times a night doesn't just make you tired. It's aging your brain. But the hopeful part? Once Edward understood this, he realized he didn't need a miracle. He needed a reset. And it began with something surprisingly simple. Edward wasn't alone in his sleep struggles. In fact, if you're over 60, chances are you've felt the same. You go to bed on time, but your legs won't stop twitching. You finally fall asleep, only to wake up at 2 a.m. with a full bladder or a racing mind. You glance at the clock, toss, turn. Start thinking about that thing you said 10 years ago, or the friend you lost, or the what-ifs that come whispering in the dark. For many seniors, night is no longer peaceful. It's personal. It's when loneliness creeps in, when old regrets play like reruns, when the silence becomes loud, and in response, we pick up the remote, we scroll, we keep the lights on, not realizing we're training our brains to resist the very rest we desperately need. Add to that an inconsistent sleep schedule, some nights in bed at 9, other nights past midnight, and the brain loses its rhythm, its clock, its cue to heal. Edward had all of it: the aching knees, the overthinking, the screen glow at 1 a.m. But what he didn't realize was that these weren't just annoying habits. They were barriers standing between him and the clarity he'd been missing. And once he removed them, his brain began to come back to life. Edward didn't overhaul his life. He didn't take new medication. He didn't spend a dime. What he did was build a rhythm. Every evening at 8 p.m., the TV went off. The phone went on the charger across the room. He brewed a warm cup of chamomile tea, dimmed the lights, and let silence settle in. He called it his unwinding hour. No drama, no noise, just peace. He also made one subtle addition: sunlight. Every morning he'd sit on the porch for 15 minutes. No phone, no news, just light on his skin and air in his lungs. And before bed, he did something he hadn't done since childhood. He said thank you 3 things every night, not out loud, just quietly, to himself. At first it felt silly, but within 3 weeks, something shifted. His mornings felt lighter. The fog in his mind began to lift. He was less irritable with his daughter. He remembered more names. His energy? Steadier. Edward told a friend, "I didn't expect magic. I just wanted my brain back." And piece by piece, it came. He didn't find a cure. He found a habit, one that gave him clarity, calm, and control again. Edward's transformation wasn't about luck. It was about rhythm. A few small science-backed steps, repeated daily, that helped his brain begin to heal. And these steps, they come straight from Dr. Matthew Walker, sleep neuroscientist and professor at UC Berkeley. Dr. Walker often says, "Sleep is the Swiss Army knife of health. When it's good, everything works better. When it's poor, everything suffers." He offers 3 simple rules, especially for seniors, that can make a big difference. Number 1, protect bedtime. Like a medical appointment, choose a consistent sleep time and guard it. No last-minute shows, no late-night snacks. Treat it like a doctor's visit, because your brain depends on it. Number 2, get 15 minutes of sunlight before 10 a.m. Natural light in the morning resets your internal clock, boosting melatonin at night and waking up your brain's alert system. Number 3, use a sleep journal plus avoid screens 1 hour before bed. Write down your worries. Close the day with a calming thought, not blue light from a screen. This clears your mind and gently invites rest. Dr. Walker reminds us that it's not about being perfect. It's about being intentional. Because when you give your brain rest, real rest, it gives you clarity in return. Edward didn't expect much to change. He thought the fog was permanent, that the forgetfulness, the irritability, the long nights and slow mornings were just the cost of growing older. But when he gave his brain what it truly needed, real rest. His body responded. His mind cleared. His joy returned. He didn't find a magic cure. He found a rhythm, a habit, a quiet decision each night to let healing begin. And if you've been feeling foggy, tired, off balance lately, you're not alone. And it's not too late. Tonight, I invite you to take one step. Maybe that's turning off the TV a little earlier. Maybe it's writing down what's on your mind. Maybe it's sitting outside tomorrow morning with a cup of tea and a little sunlight on your skin. Whatever it is, start it today. Because your brain, it's still listening, it's still healing, and it's still yours. If this story helped you, I'd love for you to subscribe to John the Living, where we share real stories and real healing for life after 60. And before you go, tell me in the comments, where are you watching from today? Let's rest better. Let's think clearer. Let's live fully together.